Hey guys, this video is to go over a quote using the master quote sheet. And I'm going to do a quote from start to finish so that it gives you guys an idea of how it works. Okay, so what I'm going to do also is I'm going to switch between two forms. So this is the bathroom estimating form, and this is what you will take with you on a quote to somebody's house. Print this off, have it with you, and basically it's so that you can use it as a checklist so that you're not going to miss anything. So I have another video explaining what this is, but just quickly going over it again. You're going to have your customer descriptions on this side, your customer info, or your job scope. I have it pretty detailed here. You don't even have to get this detailed if you don't want to, but sometimes I just put like bathroom renovation. That's it. But for training purposes, I'm just going a little bit more into detail, and I'm also writing things that customers specifically say when you're there. Because a lot of times what happens is if you don't write down everything they say as far as what you want them to do or what they want you to do on the job, you get there and you'd be like, hey, remember you said you were going to do this. And if you don't write it down, you're going to forget it. So the job scope is just so for you so that you're not going to miss anything. You're not going to miss anything that the customer's saying. And then maybe that the customer, or just so that you know what to do for the quote as well. So here we're doing a bathroom renovation. And under my job scope, I put demo, and then I give a brief description of what that demo entails. And then I go on, we're going to need insulation. We're going to need a 60-inch custom shower. We're going to need a toilet, a vanity, so on and so forth. After this, so when it comes to the renovation and below, this is all a checklist for you guys so that you don't forget to account for anything while you're on the job site doing the quote. Okay. The other important thing to do is you always want to do a drawing. It can be a pencil sketch, it can be whatever, but you always want to draw the footprint of the area you're going to renovate or construct. And why you're doing that is simply just to refresh your memory in the future. So what happens a lot too, just say you're punching out 2 to 5 of quotes a week, and then they don't get back to you for maybe 3 weeks down the road and say, hey, yeah, I want to go with you. So you have to go back and look at what you have put on your drawing, put on your quote sheet, so that it can refresh your memory and so that you're not going to forget anything that they have asked, right? And so by having a drawing, it really helps to refresh your memory, going, oh yes, it's this bathroom and these are the dimensions. So what I usually do is draw it from a bird's eye view or a plan view, and I put the wall lengths, the measurements on each wall. So don't forget little things like this little bump out here or this little bump out here. You always want to measure the parameter of the renovation area for 2 reasons. You're looking for mainly 2 measurements, which are linear feet and square feet. And so by having the measurement all the way around, you can get both of those measurements. Okay. The other measurement that's important is your floor to ceiling measurement. So below, I might just put ceiling is not 8 feet, or 96 inches. And a reason for that is when you're doing a custom shower with tile or anything, you want to know how much tile to order or how much wall surround to order. And you simply do that by getting the floor to ceiling measurement. Okay. And then you can figure out the square footage from there. So it's important to always draw something. Remember that everything starts with drawing, and then from there you get your measurements. Okay. So below, as we go into this quoting or this estimating form, this is where you put your measurements. So the width is 6 feet, the length is 10 feet, the height is 8 feet. So your total linear feet is 32 feet. Your total square feet is 60 for the floor. Coming over here, your shower enclosure is 36 by 60. So your tile square foot equals 88 square feet. So these are important measurements so that when you get to the master quoting sheet, which we are here shortly, you can just plug in this information. Okay. So you always want to start with doing your calculations first before you move into the master quote sheet. Okay, so you have to figure those measurements out. Otherwise, you're going to be figuring them out on the go as you use the quote sheet. Okay, and then obviously this is finishes, flooring, and walls. So again, it just covers areas that you don't want to miss. Are you doing a door? And if so, what size is that door? So I would circle 28 or put 28 here, 28-inch door. You also want to ask for the finishing. So, hey, do you want new baseboard and new casing around the window? If so, what is the linear feet for those? What's the square foot for your flooring and what kind of flooring? You can check these boxes, 60 square feet. And then of course your wall floor to ceiling tile in your shower is 88 square feet. Okay. And then obviously the subtrades that you're going to use, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, those are important as you do renovations as well. And so you just want to quickly take a estimate of all of that. So they want 4 pots. They want 1 receptacle. They want 3 switches total. They want a new ceiling fan, exhaust fan. And so I put an ADCFM ceiling exhaust fan. Plumbing changes. They want to move from a single vanity sink to a double vanity sink. So I'm going to put 2 sinks here because that's important. Obviously, that's going to raise the price of my plumbing and also what we're going to get as far as vanity goes. The toilet, they specifically want an elongated toilet, not a regular toilet. So these are just all little details that you got to put and you can't miss because it affects the cost at the end of the job, right? And then, so we want sink faucets because it's a double sink. We want 2 of them. We want 1 shower faucet. And then the pan size, the shower pan size is 36, so 3 feet by 5 feet, okay? And then there's other things that might be of concern. And so it's just like, again, it's a checklist so that you're not missing anything, okay? So we put 2 mirrors here because obviously it's a double sink, so they want 2 mirrors. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. There's another video on this if you want more detail, but I'm gonna refer to this. So this is what I would do first as I quote a job. And then I take this sheet and now I'm gonna plug that information into this quoting sheet. Okay, so we're under bathroom. You can see bathroom here, the tabs down here. We're all, for this purpose, we're doing everything in-house. And so, like I said, we're gonna start at permits and work our way down. Everything's in chronological building order so we don't miss anything. So the first example I wanna give is the permit. Permits, that seems pretty cheap. It was a number I had where I was working. So the entire permit square footage, it was 60 square feet. So I'm going to put that in and it equates to 2460. That might be a little low. They might have fees associated with that as well. But for this purpose, I'm just going to use it right now. My demo, it's not going to be a lot of demo because it's a bathroom. Bathrooms are usually small. So I'm gonna resort to truck disposal, which just means I'm going to take a truck, my own personal truck or somebody's truck, and we're going to, all the disposal we'll put in the back of that and bring it to the dump. So I don't have to spend $500 or $700 on a bin. So I'm going to put 1 of those, $150. Concrete, there's going to be no concrete work in this one, so I can skip that section. Framing. So again, we refer back to here in my drawing. Let's just say that this bump out wasn't here before and we're making a shelf inside the shower. I'm going to account for this wood here that we need to frame this wall. So if we go back here, I say, okay, we're just going to grab 2, what would that be? Maybe 3 2x4x8s. And then over in the notes, I can just put 4 bump out wall in shower, right? So that way, if just say we're doing a lot of framing in a job, you don't know what you're accounting for in this estimation. So by putting a description and a note here, you can refresh your memory. Like I said, if you have to come back to the quote 3 weeks later, a month later, why did I order 3 2x4x8s again? Oh yeah, it's for the bump out in the wall in the shower. Okay. So that's about it for the framing. There might be, when we tear off drywall, there might be some studs to fix or replace there. So you might want to increase that to 5, let's just say, for quoting purposes. Other than that, everything's for framing is done. So we can skip that section. No plywood. It just, like, again, as you move down, it just reminds you, oh yeah, maybe they wanted some shelves, so I'm going to get some common pine shelves in there, right? So moving to the sub trades, HVAC. For bathroom purposes, you don't really need to hire an HVAC. Usually it's just replacing a vent, like a register vent, or a grill somewhere. So for this purpose, we're going to go, I want to change the register vent. And so I'm going to find my heat register. And again, that's pretty cheap. That's a plastic one. I want to go with a more expensive one, which is about $15 these days. So I'm going to do one of those. And like I said, the exhaust fan that we had on the sheet earlier, that runs at about $70, 80 CFM. So I'm going to get one of those as well, because we need to install that. Other than that, that looks fine. Okay, sorry. And then we're going to go to the labor. So what is it going to cost my guys to install exhaust fan? Because there's some wiring involved in that. Maybe there's probably about an hour's of work for that. So you can change this to your labor cost, not your sub-trades labor cost. So I'm going to say my labor cost is $100 an hour. And so it's going to take us 1 hour to do that. There's my labor, and everything's accounted for right here. You see that? So it's materials plus labor, and so you know that my HVAC cost for this renovation is $185. And I've made some markup on that eventually up at the top. We'll see that later. So moving to plumbing. In a bathroom renovation, plumbing is huge. It's one of the biggest things, because there's showers, there's toilets, there's sinks, sometimes more. So what I've tried to do in this quoting sheet is lay it out pretty simple. So starting with the shower or the tub, like we said, it's going to be a 36 by 60 shower, which I see right here. And what I usually do, guys, for custom showers, that keeps the cost down for the customer, is you can order these kits now that come with a glass door. They come with a nice white shower base. And then from there, you can do whatever you want on the walls. So you can do tiles. You can do the new sheets. What are they called? They're like a plastic sheet, but it's like more high end. That they go, all you have to do is cut one end to size, and it goes from floor to ceiling. Those are nice. So these shower kits usually come with a shower base and a glass shower door. And depending on the size, the price goes up. So we're going to do a 60 by 36 shower kit. And I'm going to get one of those. Okay. I don't need to get a shower base because that's part of the shower kit. And I don't need a glass shower door or anything because that's part of the kit. Okay. The toilet, they wanted a elongated toilet, which are about $350 to $400 now. So I'm going to put $350, and I'm going to put one for the toilet. Fixtures, we wanted we wanted 2 vanity faucets. So right here we have 150, and this is the estimation that I'm giving them. Okay. So like if it costs me 150, but they come back and they say, no, I want to change that and get a higher cost, then we can change that on our software, the CoConstruct app, whatever we get. But for now, this is estimation purposes, and we want to be quick at this. We don't want to spend a lot of time doing this stuff, right? So I'll come in here and I'll hit 2 because we need 2 vanity faucets. We want 1 shower mixing valve. We want 1 shower head, no body jets, no rain shower head, and no wand. So we'll leave it at that. And then the vanity is going to be a double sink vanity, which has to be usually above 60 inches. So I'm going to charge them for that. And the vanity with sink, most things are come in that now, right? If you go to Lowe's, Home Depot, anywhere, you're going to find that the vanity comes with the vanity, the sink, and sometimes the faucet, sometimes the mirror too. So you got to be careful with that. But for my purposes, I'm just predicting that it's just a vanity and a double sink. So I might want to move that up to $3,000 because of the double sink. The mirror, we need 2 of those, right? And now the labor, I'm going to be giving, so there's twofold here. My plumbers are going to come in and they're going to set the shower pan. They're going to set the toilet, and they're going to do all the plumbing work to reroute everything in the renovation with the shower mixing valve and plumbing in the sinks. So their cost to do that is going to be 1 day, because they can all do that in 1 day. So I'm going to put 1 because my plumbers cost me $1,100 a day. Every time they're on the job site for 1 day, it costs me $1,100. Okay, so I figured that out through experience and through getting their pricing sheets. So that's something that you guys can do over time. So I've accounted for their costs for 1 day, and then my costs for my guys to set the vanity. They're going to set the vanity, and that's really about it. So again, to set the vanity might take them 2 hours. So again, at $100 an hour, I'll do 2 hours. So for this section, you can see the cost goes up a lot on a bathroom renovation because this is where most of the money is. Your plumber, all your finishes are very expensive, usually for a bathroom renovation. Okay. The electrical subtrades, my electrician will come in. He's going to cost me, he only has 3 pots, did we say? And a few switches, and then to wire in the exhaust ceiling fan. So that won't take him too long. I might want to bump that to $600 just to cover myself. And then, like I said, material, we want 3 pots. And then usually this $600 accounts for all of their wiring and everything. So I'm not going to put anything else. And my guys aren't going to be doing any electrical, so I'm going to leave these blank. Okay. So moving on to the insulation. So if I go back, what did I need for my insulation? Let's check it out. Insulation, install new insulation in exterior walls only. So there's only one exterior wall, which is this one right here. This is the window. And so they're going to want new insulation once we rip this off. And so that's very small. It's going to cost, I need a bundle, 1 bundle of insulation. That's it, right? So if I go here, it's a 2x4 wall. So I want R1423, 60 square foot. I just want 1 bundle of those. Okay. And now, so again, it's all color coded. In certain areas where I'm from in Canada, you have to put what's called poly on the interior after you put your insulation in, and that's just so that it's airtight. And so I need to get 1 poly so I can do that. And my my labor costs for all of this to put that insulation in and the poly is going to take my guy an hour, maybe a half an hour. So I can be lenient on this one. I'll say $50. Because again, you're competing, right? You don't want to go crazy costs here. You got to compete with other guys. So I'm just going to go $50. That's going to cost, insulation total is going to be $130. Drywall, again, we go back up here, and this is where we get our square feet from. Okay, so if we're ripping off all the drywall around here, then what I want to do is account for new drywall. So how do I do that? I add the linear foot up and I times it by the height of the ceiling to get my square footage. Because everything is done by square footage most of the time for walls and floor. So that square footage, if we add that up, it's 32 linear feet times 8. 32 times 8 is 256 square feet. Now I want to divide that by 32 square feet because that's represents 1 8-foot sheet of drywall. So divide 32. So I'm 8. 8 sheets is what I need. And it's a bathroom. So I'm going to go normal drywall where there's not a wet area, and then I'm going to go water resistant or dense shield, we call it, for the bathroom, or sorry, the shower surround. So I'll need 3 sheets for that. They're different costs. And I'll need 5 sheets of the normal drywall. Okay. So I've got my drywall accounted for. The Weedy system is another shower surround if you're doing like full custom showers, like including the floor. Like if you're doing tiling the floor and everything, you want to use the Weedy system or a different system that you guys have. Mud and tape. So when we do drywall, we have to mud and tape it. So I need joint compound, a 17-liter box of joint compound. I just need one because it's a small bathroom. I like to get my 45, which is a compound that turns like to concrete, and it gives you good to fill gaps and anything before you drywall, or sorry, before you mud and tape. So I need 1 bag of those. There's how many outside corner beads? 1, 2. So there's 2 corner beads I need to get. Never use mesh tape, guys. So there's some applications for it, but for the most part, you're going to get way better results with tape. And so I need 1 roll of tape. I need 1 sanding block, and that's about it. So my materials are accounted for. And then what's my labor going to be? Drywall labor to do all that is probably going to take my guys probably like with installing the drywall, with coming back and doing coats, probably a day, right? So for my guy for a day, that's going to cost me $300. So 1 of those. And you can see for the section right here, it spits out my total for drywall for that. So then paint. After we sand, we paint and prime. So there's a few different things on this one. What I've done here is ceilings prime plus 1 coat of paint. So if you're doing your ceilings, usually it's 1 prime and 1 coat of white paint. And my subtrades come in at 80 cents a square feet for that. So again, you can find out your subtrade costs. So you can do that. But again, I'm going to have my guys do all this because it's going to save me some money. And I can keep the cost of this whole project lower by having my guys do it. So what I'm going to do is just account for material. So we'll need 1 gallon of paint. That'll do a bathroom. We need 1 gallon of ceiling paint. We need 1 gallon of primer. Primer is important. You always do priming before you paint on new projects. And then trim paint, because we're switching out the baseboard and the casing around the doors and the windows. We want some trim paint. So I'm going to do 1 quart of trim paint. And then I want to go into the materials for like the paintbrush and the paint roller. So I'm going to get a 3-pack of paintbrushes because I have different uses for that. I'm going to get a paint tray kit that comes with a roller and a tray and all the stuff that you need. And then we don't really use painter's tape anymore. My guys cut it in really well. And so we'll leave it at that, I believe. And then what's the labor cost for that? So it's going to take them how long to prime, to paint the ceiling, to paint the walls, paint the trim. Again, maybe as far as work hours go, maybe 6 to 7 hours. So again, you can go 1 day if you want. So for this purpose, we'll do that 1. And there you go. So for painting, it's going to cost me this. Flooring. So I always recommend in a bathroom nowadays, you want to go with vinyl. Usually that's the best. It's 100% waterproof. It locks in nicely. You usually don't have any warranty issues with it. A lot of people like tile as well, but those are the 2 I would recommend. We're going to go with Vinyl Click at $4.50 a square foot. So the Vinyl Click we need at 60 square feet, but that's the total area. So we're going to take away the shower square foot. And so we'll put in, but then we need to account for overage. So again, I'll go 50 square feet for that. And then the vinyl click labor. So how long is it going to take my guys to do? It'll take them maybe, this is the labor by square foot. So again, we go 50. So that's how that works out, because vinyl click does not take long to install. It's very quick, and the labor is going to be calculated by square foot on this one. We need one transition strip between the door and the other floor on the outside. We need no, we don't need any of this. This is for bigger jobs. And then, so now we move to tile. So my customer wants a tile custom shower. So again, we can follow it step by step here. We don't need floor tile, but we need shower tile. So these are the costs per square foot for the shower tile. And what did we say it was? Come back up here. Wall tile shower is 88 square feet. So we just punch in 88 square feet. Spits out the cost for the tile shower, and it's a subway tile. And again, you can adjust that square footage cost here. So maybe I want to adjust that just to account for like maybe the costs have gone up or whatever for 50 square foot, and that just changes the cost there. So tile requires a lot more material. So again, you need thin set to set it. So I need one bag, or sorry, not one bag, 80 square feet. I'm going to probably need 2 bags, we'll say. We need tile spacers and leveling clips so that it's a very nicely done install. And because it's subway tiles, I'm going to probably need 2 bags of those. Tile grout, just 1 bag of those. The Schluter edge, or the titanium edge that you see on a lot of these, is very helpful. And we're going to need, because it's only 2 walls, so we just need 2 titanium edges. We need a float, unless you have one, but these are cheaper ones that you can get. So I'm going to get a float. I need a sponge, and I need a pail to mix all that stuff. A shower niche just means like a shampoo niche, like if you want to inset that into the wall where they can put their shampoo. So sometimes that's nice. Some people want it, some people don't. In this one, we're not going to put it in. Transition strips, we don't need that. We don't need all of that. And then down here, we have floor tile labor, shower tile labor, and backsplash tile labor. So we're doing shower tile labor, and it's the most because it is the most tedious, and you want to make a very good job out of the shower. And so it's 88 square feet. And so that's going to spit out my cost of labor. So it looks like a lot, guys, but honestly, my guy's going to probably be in that shower for 2 days, maybe more. And it all depends again on the tile, what you're installing. Subway tile goes pretty quick, but there's a lot of tediousness that is involved with it. So I'm going to just leave it at that. And then I've already accounted for my labor costs, which spit out right here. So for this section, again, a lot of money just to tile a shower, right? Install a shower. So my interior finishes now. The door, we're going to the door. So this is door slabs only. But for my purpose, I want a pre-hung one. So you can grab the pre-hung ones. It comes with your jams. And the install is a lot quicker. So we wanted a 2880 door. So I need one of those. And then what do I need as the hardware? You can't forget about your knob. You can't forget about hinges if they don't come with hinges. And you can't forget about what's all involved in installing that door. Okay, so this is what I've laid out in the door hardware. So a ball catch, we don't need those. That's for like French doors that catch on the top. But we do need a doorknob that locks because it's a bathroom. And so usually those are more expensive. So I'm going to go to $60. And we're going to get one of those. We don't need hinges because it's a pre-hung door and they come with hinges already. Shim pack, we need one of those to install a door, to shim it out on the inside. And then we need one door stop. So when it swings open, so that it stops and doesn't hit things. We need one of those. You see how I'm accounting for all those little things that you can forget about? And then, so my total material for that is, for this section is this, for this section it's this, but those two added up equals this. And then what's my labor going to be to install one pre-hung door? Not too much. It's going to take my guy maybe 2 hours. So I'm going to adjust this price to maybe $180. Okay. And I just noticed that I don't have, oh no, I do. It's down here. So the section's down here. Finishing is there's a lot involved with finishing. So it's kind of a bigger section. So railing, there's no railing in a bathroom. Trim though, we want to go with, let's go with contemporary. That's a big thing right now. MDF contemporary, or you can do pine contemporary. Most of them are the same costs right now. So right now we're going to do with the contemporary, this is the casing. So around the door and the window on both sides, I need to account for that. So what I use, a trick for me for estimating door trim. So if you think about how there's casing that goes around your door on one side, okay? No matter what size that door is, it could be a 24-inch door or a 32 or a 36-inch door. What I figure out is you need long enough lengths for both sides of the door, right? Which usually account to 7 feet. Okay, so 7 plus 7 is 14. And then the header piece that goes along the top, I count as 4 feet because that gives me enough room to cover a 3-foot door, which is the biggest kind of size door. And so 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 4 is 18, right? You see how that works? So what I usually do is I estimate 18 linear feet of trim per side of the door. Or you can double that and it would be 36 linear feet per door, okay? Because you have to account for both sides of the door. So that's a little trick. So we're just installing one door right now. And so what I would estimate for the linear foot of the trim is 36, but then I also have a window in there and the window only takes one side. So the window is 4 by 5. So so you'd basically go 5 plus 5 plus 4 plus 4, which equals 18 again. So 36 plus 18 is, oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. I'm drawing a blank. 36 plus 18 is 54. I wanted to say 48 for some reason. 54 linear feet of trim, of casing, sorry. What's going on here? I don't need 54. Oh, this is not per linear feet. This is measured per length of trim. So again, my bad. It's not 54 pieces. So each casing comes 16-foot lengths. So like I said, I need 54. So you basically go 54 divided by 16. I basically need 3 lengths. 54 divided by 16, 3.3. So 4 lengths of trim. So I need to go 4 instead of 54. So there's my cost for my casing. Baseboard, again, you have the linear feet for the casing, which is 32. Usually I would estimate a little bit less than that because there's vanities and showers in the way. So let's estimate 25 linear feet divided by 16, which is 1. So I need 2 lengths of baseboard. And then any other trim that you think you need to account for within this, but it's pretty simple and straightforward for this bathroom. So that's what I need for that. What's my trim labor? How long is it going to take my guys to install that trim? Not too much. I would say 3 hours. So again, I'll go to 180. What's my hourly rate? Between $80 and $100 an hour. So I'm going to go 80, 160. So it's going to be 240. And I need one of those, okay? Shelving, is there shelving in this thing? No, there's not. I was using that picture as a example. It's not really the layout of it. And then again, other ones is drop ceiling. So sometimes instead of drywalling for the ceiling, people like to have drop ceiling, especially in basements, but there's nothing like that. So again, you can see your final totals here for this section, for the finishing section. Okay. No fireplace. And then finally, the last one, guys, is hardware. So a lot of times guys don't account for the hardware, and hardware adds up quickly. So basically what I do is I go through and because it's a bathroom renovation, we don't need a lot of screws. We don't need a lot of hardware. But again, it's just a list so that you're not missing anything in case you do need it. Okay, so drywall screws, I need 1 pack of those. Really nothing else for screws or fasteners, other than maybe a few nails, which I probably have in my trailer. We don't need to buy and charge the client that for this job. Glues and caulking tape, filler. We need glue for, no, we don't. So DAP is what you would finish your trim with on the outside to make it look nice. So I need 1 bottle of that. I need the filler, which hides all your brad nail holes. Need 1 of those. Silicone, I need 2 of those because you need to silicone a lot in a shower and in a bathroom on the vanity and everything. So I'm gonna go 2 bottles of those. Spray foam can, I always add 1 because there's something, when you tear things out, you always want to insulate properly. So I want to account for some spray foam. Carpenter glue for my trim. You always glue your miters on trim. You should know that. And then other than that, there's nothing else I need in that section. This is for, again, structural purposes. And then tools. When you think about doing a job, what are the things you burn through a lot in the job? Recip blades when you do demo. So because we're doing demo, I'm going to count for 1. Saw blades, I always count for 1. The oscillating tool, which is that, I don't know, a lot of people call it differently. I call it the oscillating tool, which basically is that saw that vibrates left and right and cuts things a lot. So I don't need a lot on this one. It's a bathroom job. I'm not going to charge my client for that. 10-inch saw blade, I don't need. Brad nails I need. So I need 1 pack of brad nails. I need maybe a couple dust masks for the demo. And to keep my guys safe, I'll do earplugs and garbage bags. Again, if it was a bigger job, Okay, so we're finished that quote. So if we scroll back up all the way to the top here, we can see what all these formulas punch out. So in here, you can have an overview of all the costs associated with it. So this column equals material. So this is all your material costs, and the total spits it out right here. This is all your labor costs, and the total is spit out right here. From there, I have it going into these tables so that you have a more clear picture of what the breakdown of the costs are. So again, you have your material costs. Then this is where you can make your profit. So this is the straight material costs, which include the taxes. And from there, you can mark it up however you see fit. If you're first starting out, I always suggest 10 to 15%. If you are a professional and you are able to compete with the upper end of the contractors out there, then you can go up to 25, 30%. 20% is usually a safe place to be when you're making money. But I have it at 25% just to show you. This is what I try to make on my jobs to make it worthwhile. So again, that's your total material costs, total labor costs, and total subtrade costs. Down here, you will find the total profit that you would make from this job, and then the overall grand total. So you're coming in around 19,000. Customer would see that, which is, in the ballpark these days for what they want it. And from there, you can kind of see what all the things are. Now, I've added a few things that I've upgraded this. So up here in the right corner, whatever your local tax rate is. So for mine, in Ontario, Canada, it was 13%. That's called HST. They really gouge you up there with that, but that's a provincial tax plus federal tax, each equaling 13%. So this 13% converts the material that you purchase at a store. So just say the item is $20. Okay, so you would see $20 plus 13% because I have it in here. Now watch these rows here when I change this. Okay, so just say your tax rate is 6%. You would put in 6% there and hit enter. Oh, sorry. And it changes these numbers. Let me do that again so you can see it better. So 13, if I keep it there. Yeah, see how that changes? So 6%, and you just click there. It changes all these numbers, right? And it'll spit out a different number here. So if you only have a 6% tax rate, you can offer a cheaper quote, right? So it spits it out there. So change this first, or just change it right now, and you'll probably have to leave it there if that's all if you're doing work in that same location. You won't even have to change it again. Okay, so that, and there were a few things that I backtracked on this. I forgot to add the demolition labor cost and the framing labor cost, but I did that here, as you see, demo costs, framing labor costs. So labor, this would be what I'm paying my guys, right? If they do everything in an order, within the time frame that I've allotted for, I'll be paying my guys this, maybe less, maybe more, depends, but this is where my markup kind of covers it. So I can see the profit that I'll make here, and this money you have a choice to do with, as it's your business. You can pay yourself, or what I would suggest is maybe paying yourself half and putting the other half back into the business to continue to make it better and grow and make more money in the long run. Okay, so that's kind of what it looks like. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was useful to you guys, and make sure to practice this, and you can also make it better. Like, you don't have to follow what I have. If you want to optimize this and make this even better, go ahead, share it with me if you'd like. But this is a great starting place for you guys in starting out your business. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.